Hi guys, Martin from Local Web Solutions here and welcome to our very first video tutorial. In today's tutorial we're going to be talking about something that I'm personally very passionate about, and that is Snapchat. Now, if you're a business owner and you haven't already utilized Snapchat, I highly recommend you start doing so. If you're a bit confused about how it works or how businesses can utilize this particular social network, make sure to jump on localwebsolutions.com.au and check out the blog I've written specifically on how businesses can utilize Snapchat for marketing and promotion. Let's move right along with our tutorial today, and it's going to be on creating geofilters. Now, if you don't know what a geofilter is, I guess you're about to find out. Now, the marketing benefits of this are humongous. It is a really great way to get on a face-to-face level with your audience and a really quick and viral way to get your message out to hundreds, potentially thousands of people. Now, even though it might sound daunting to create a geofilter on Snapchat, I assure you it's very, very simple. I'm not just going to run you through the steps, I'm also going to show you how you can get your geofilter designed for very cheap. This is one of the most crucial elements of geofilters and probably one of the main things holding everyone back. So I'm going to give you the resources to go and get yours created if you're not good at design yourself, and I'm also going to show you from beginning to launch on how a geofilter is created. On that note guys, let's go jump into my computer and get started.
Okay guys, welcome to my computer. We're going to get started on making these geofilters. I'm going to run you through step by step on how to do it. It's a really easy process, but I know there can be a little bit of confusion when these things first come out because there are some regulations and some guidelines. So let me run through them with you. First of all, what you want to be doing is going to snapchat.com/geofilters, and then this will redirect you to your country's specific geofilter site. So here we are. At my Australian geofilters area. Okay, now there's two sections here. One is the community section and one is the on-demand section. We're only going to be focusing on this here today, and the reason that is because community is more based for artists or designers that would like to create their own work for a particular area in their community, such as a university, a landmark, whatever it might be. Now this is obviously really bad for branding because, well, branding is not allowed at all. It's simply a labor of love and something to get maybe the artist recognized as opposed to a brand or an event or anything like that. Now, what we're going to do here is click on Learn More. Okay, this is going to take you to the On-Demand Geofilters page. It's giving you a real simple little step-by-step run through down here of what the process is. And yeah, I'm going to take you through that anyway. So all we need to do is go to the Create Now button. Now, of course, you're going to need a Snapchat account. If you don't have one, well, I really suggest you get one. It is a fantastic app, a fantastic social network, and it's growing so rapidly, it's scary. So make sure to get one. So I'm just going to log in right now. Okay, guys, so the first step that we're going to reach is basically where you're going to be uploading your file. Now, obviously, you're going to have to pre-design a file, and I'm going to go through what you have to do and how you can get it done if you don't want to do it to make sure that you pass the Snapchat guidelines every time. First of all, they give you a few hints and tips right here. Make sure it's 1080 wide by 1920 pixels tall. Standard stuff. Be creative and fun. That's a very broad sort of thing to say. However, the way around this is to really think of your target audience. Think of people who will be using and consuming this particular geofilter and how they're going to be using it. Don't be rude, crude, or offensive. Just get something that's going to be simple and fun and will, assist people in taking creative photos and videos. I've actually got a blog up at the moment, which I will link along with this post, and you can actually have a look at some creative ways people have used Snapchat geofilters for events or celebrations in general. Now, one of the most important things is remember that you can't add your URL hashtag or social media handles or anything like contact information in general. Just do not add it. Snapchat's goal is to be a very face-to-face type social media network, and it really wants to stick to the roots of social media. Now, they're obviously going to always go down the route of advertising and making money. Obviously, they have to, but they're going to ensure that they do that in a very face-to-face manner rather than a push marketing type manner, which is kind of what Google has gone down and Facebook's gone down as well. You know, the whole pay for advertising, pay to reach your target audience, which is great and it works. But Snapchat is definitely trying to be a standout of the crowd type of social media network, where we have to think creatively to get other people to use what we're promoting in a smart way. So you don't have to be an advertising genius, you just have to think like your target audience. All right, so the next step is to choose your file. Now, before I go ahead and actually upload my file, let's go through the actual design elements. I'll show you the one that I've designed. I'm going to launch this I'm going to upload this today to actually launch in real life tomorrow. And if you follow me on Snapchat, you'll probably be seeing me use it. And that's providing everything, of course, passes the guidelines, which most of the time it always does. If not, it's a very minor change. Now, what I've done in here is I have made a few design tweaks, which everybody should take note of. First thing is I've used color, but when I use the color, I put it in front of a transparent background. The reason that is if somebody's taking a picture or a video, let's just say the sunset, that might have a tinge of or like the same type of color as one of these, then it will ruin the entire text. It will ruin the effect of the text standing out as it does. So make sure to always have a transparent box behind your particular text. You can even do it with an image, because this could sometimes blend in as well. However, this is a pretty cool image, the way it's set up. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to just put it on the text. Now, obviously, I've put my brand in there just to say this is from Local Web Solutions. However, as you can see, I've made that the absolute most minimal focal point, and that is because I don't want to be standing up here and telling everyone to push their brand on people. Instead, give your brand the opportunity to have a bit of fun with your target audience, and that will often be a lot more effective than saying, hey, look at me, look what we are, look what we do. So as you can see, this is just a real relaxed cheers, thank God it's Friday Geofilter. I'm probably going to get our staff to use this tomorrow and send out to their networks, and people will be like, hey, that's a cool Geofilter, we really like it, it's fun. And that's really all we want people to do, is just say, hey, that's pretty cool. Will this get us a customer or a conversion? It probably won't, but it's just going to be one of those things that will make us and can make us memorable for people who may be interested in our products or services. And it also creates an aura around our brand. So this is a really good way of promoting yourself outside the box. So think about that when you're designing your Geofilter. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to be an expert at Photoshop or Illustrator, and that's fine, because I'm going to actually show you a really cool resource that is pretty popular, and I'm going to show you how you can get these designed for you for very cheap. Now, if you are familiar with Photoshop or Illustrator, you pretty much will know what to do here. And look, if you really want to learn, I suggest just taking a really standard course on Photoshop. Probably the easiest way to go about it. However, the next step, let me show you how to get it designed for you, for the people who don't quite understand or know programs like Photoshop. Okay guys, for those of you who don't know, this is a site called Fiverr. What's Fiverr? Well, it's basically a service where you can get a whole lot of cool stuff done for as little as $5, or in Australian dollars, I think it's like $6.80. But that's the concept behind it, and this is how you're going to get your Snapchat filter designed for very cheap. Okay, so what we want to type in is actually put Snapchat Geo Filter. You'll see it even come up here in the predictive text. Let's find those services, and boom, there you go. You've got a whole bunch of people ready to design your Geofilter for you. Now, most of these guys will already know the guidelines, so you don't actually need to tell them anything other than what you want. Now, what I like to do with anybody that I use on Fiverr, because Fiverr can often work against you as well. I don't mean to badmouth the service at all. It's a fantastic service, but there are, of course, like in everything, people who probably overpromise and underdeliver. So you want to be really careful with who you're picking on Fiverr, especially when it comes to design work. I'm still a huge advocate of using a professional designer. that you can probably have a meeting with and sit down with, because a lot of issues with this is that there's going to be a language barrier because a lot of people are from overseas, and a lot of people you're communicating with needs the only method of communication you have is going to be through messaging. So unfortunately, it's hard to get the concept across often through a message, and you want to try and keep it as simple as possible. So don't when it comes to design, make sure you're still going to be using your local designers. Make sure you still keep these guys in business, because they're the people who are going to do the hard work for you and really get in there and design exactly what you need to your requirements. This is perfect for things like cool little designs or things that you might just need done for really cheap, where it doesn't really matter too much about how the design concept works or anything like that. So one of the most efficient ways to find a good Fiverr seller is to look at reviews. So first of all, this guy's got 442 reviews and 5 stars from all of them. Fantastic. This guy's got 70, or this girl's got 70 from 5 stars. So 70 reviews, all 5 stars. And you can see we start going down. So obviously the winner here would be Our Design Lab. And to be honest with you, this is probably the person that I would use. So I'm going to click on there. And as we can see, this person is from the United States, which is also a bonus because it means that they will understand English and you'll be able to communicate with them really well. So what you're going to be doing is reading through what they require. And as we can see here, there's a basic gig and then there's more upgraded packages. Now, obviously, it all depends on what you need and require. Shoot this guy a message first. Say, you can go contact me and say, hey mate, I'm new to it's Geofilters. I want to promote my event like this. What do you recommend? And they're going to come back with a quote, and it's usually going to be anywhere between $5 to $20. As we can see here, this is his packages here. So $33 for package 2, which I think he said was his most popular. Which isn't bad at all. That's a very fair price to pay for somebody who's going to be making you a professional piece of design, and probably take the time out to really listen to what you need to. So you can always just go with the the cheaper versions, the basic gig, which, as he says here, is no illustrations, add your community business name, basic text effects. But I would definitely be going down here to package 2 and purchasing that one. Look, it's a small investment for something that is going to give you a fantastic image. It's going to make you relevant. It's going to make you up to date. It's worth every penny, in my opinion. So don't be afraid to go on that. And he even gives you a revision. So if you don't like the first one, you can always say, hey, can you revise this or change that? And he'll do it for you for no extra cost. So I'd be happy to go with this guy. And I would obviously select that package, order now, and let him know what I want. And then within a couple of days, you'll have your design ready to go. Now, when you have your design, we're going to come back here and we're going to get back to where we started from. Okay, so I've gone ahead and uploaded my file, and as we can see, it's looking pretty good. There's a few things kind of out of line here, so we can fix that up right here in the actual website. So that looks better. I've just increased the size a little bit, and as we can see, I've reached the end there of the actual phone. So that looks perfect to me. I might even just move that down a little bit just to get our logo in there. Perfect, there we go. So as you can see, if you are out of the buffer zone a little bit, you won't have to go back and redesign. You can actually manipulate that in the app itself. All right, so the next thing is to give your Geofilter a name. So we're going to call this TGIF because it's our TGIF, thank God it's Friday, filter. And we're going to hit next. Okay, so the next step is to choose your dates that you would like to have your Snapchat Geofilter live by. Because I'm making a thank God it's Friday Geofilter, I want it live on Friday. So I'm going to pick my time for, let's just say 4 p.m. and let's go until about 7 p.m. After that, no one's really going to care about my thank God it's Friday filter anyway. So that sounds perfect to me, and I want that obviously launching on the 17th because that's a Friday. So that's all good. Now, what you can actually do, is go way in advance. So if you want to, have a few filters for a particular event in a couple of weeks' time, you can go ahead and do that and have it ready to go, and just have it all kind of prepared before you actually, like with me, this is a bit of a rush job. If Snapchat doesn't approve of this filter, I'm probably not going to get it out in time, and that's a risk that I'm willing to take, because this is just a test to show you guys how to do it. But yeah, think ahead, think in advance, and don't leave these things to the last minute, because there is a bit of an approval process from Snapchat. Okay, so we're happy with the date and time, so let's move on. Now, this is the fun part. We're going to have to find our location and draw what's called a fence around where we want this particular Snapchat filter to be live. Now, what that means is only the people within this fence will be able to use your filter. Everybody that you've got on your network or your Snapchat friends list will actually be able to see your filter, or you using your filter, but you will be, only people within that fence will be able to download and actually use that Geofilter for their own purposes. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to go to my office, which is in the beautiful suburb of Hope Island in Queensland, Australia. And I'm going to look for where I am right now, which is right down here. So if you do want to come and stalk us, this is where you do it. Now I'm going to go and click on where I am, which I believe is right here. Click draw fence. So we are round about here. So, okay. Geofence must be at least 20,000 square feet. Fantastic. We'll just drag this out until we reach 20,000 feet. There we go. Okay, so this is some cool on-the-fly issues coming up. The available schedule has changed and your start and end times have been adjusted to fit the new schedule. Please check that your start times are still suitable. Okay, I'm going to close that, and it doesn't seem to have changed anything, but that's okay. That's fine with me. So we have done exactly what's required, at least 20,000 square feet around the area of our office. And guess what? It's only going to cost me $5. How good is that? So literally tomorrow at 5 p.m, I will go on my Snapchat. I will go through my Snapchat filters, and my thank God it's Friday filter will be there for me to use however I like. Now, obviously, we can, of course, drag this out to wherever we want, but as we can see, it starts getting more and more and more expensive. So if you are designing this for an event or anything like that, just be wary that the more space you require, the more expensive it's going to be. So let's take that back down to where we were. Fantastic. And what we want to go and do now, when we're happy with that, is hit next. And now we come to the payment terms, and we are literally done. What's going to happen after I pay for this, I'm going to get an email from Snapchat, which I will show you guys, and it's going to say that they are going through the approval process, and then it will shoot me another email telling me when it's been approved. And it will also finalize the times with me, and it will let me know that I can go ahead and use it now. So let me fill out these details, and I will then show you what happens after Snapchat gets back to me. I might also add that make sure that you are using business use if you have your logo in it. If not, then just use personal use. But in this particular case, I'm using business simply because I am actually using my logo in the Geofilter. So just something to be aware of. Okay guys, so this is the email that I have received from Snapchat, basically just telling me that the Geofilter is under review, and they are of course reconfirming the times, start and end, and how much I've paid, also what it looks like, and whereabouts it's going to be usable. So on that note, guys, if you don't already have me on Snapchat, there's my username right there, Martin Schnitzel, going back to my German heritage. Make sure to add me. I will be making a lot more updates on digital marketing tips and advice, and also just some general cool stuff. So make sure to follow me. I'll be more than happy to follow you back. And on that note, guys, any questions, just make sure to hit us up at localwebsolutions.com.au. We've got some other cool blogs there to do with digital marketing, but also one in specific for Snapchat. And how businesses can utilize it, which I highly recommend you read and utilize, because this is the social network of the future. And if you're not using it, it's really time to start doing it now. Jump on board, while it's still in growth mode, and grow with it, become an expert at it. On that note, guys, all the best. I hope this video has been informative, and I hope you've learned something, and there will be plenty more to come. So stay tuned. Make sure to visit us. Make sure to add me on your social networks, and happy snapping.